All right, well, Mark, one of my guilty pleasures from the 90s is the movie Showgirls.
Okay.
It's so bad that it's good. At least I feel that way. It's become a cult classic over the years. When it came out, it was universally panned.
Yes.
But I just thought it'd be fun to react to this clips of this movie.
I think so too, and this is one of those films that, like, was it 95? I think is when it came out.
Yeah.
I remember going to see it, being so excited because I mean I'm a teenage guy.
Yeah.
Let's see what she looks like, and then the movie was just unbearable.
Elizabeth Berkley, Jesse Spano, a.k.a. Jesse Spano. on
Right,
Saved
because
by
I was
the
like,
Bell.
well, Jesse's going to be nude in this movie.
Yeah.
That's worth $5. It was not. It was not.
It's a really bad movie.
But I feel like that you're right. If it had been maybe marketed differently or something, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and say it. The rape scene.
That is awful. Like, that could have been left out of the movie.
Whoever okayed that should not ever work again.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible, terrible. The rest of the movie, though, is over-the-top camp.
Yes.
And it was marketed as sort of, at the time, that's when Basic Instinct had come out. Sliver, like, it was supposed to be in the same vein of that. And they marketed it like this kind of provocative, taking a look at behind the scenes of the showgirls in Vegas and what they have to go through. But it ended up being just camp.
It did. And I think one of the reasons for that is the choices that Elizabeth Berkley makes. But Paul Verhoeven was the director, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things he has said is that he blames himself because a lot of her over-the-top acting was at his insistence and not because of her choices.
Right.
But there's one clip that I think we should look at.
Okay.
And it's when she's eating her French fries.
Oh my God, this is the best.
All right, so folks, let's take a look at this clip and then we'll talk about it.
Nothing, just my stuff. Everything I had. I just got here.
Welcome to Vegas. You know anybody here? You got any family that you can call?
I don't have any family.
Where are you from?
Back east.
From where back east?
Different places.
All right, so different places.
Yes.
And apparently just asking her where she's from causes her to throw French fries into the air.
That's what I mean. I don't, it's hard to even put into words, the acting. And Elizabeth Berkley has since redeemed herself with stuff she's done. She can act, but it was so just...
Well, and that coupled with like the seriousness of the rape at the end does not fit.
No.
It reminds me of, I don't know if you remember Kevin Smith's Clerks. Mm-hmm. So originally the end of that has Dante getting killed.
Oh.
So at the very end of that, a customer comes in and robs Dante and kills him and then walks out. And Kevin was like, I wanted to be a Spike Lee. And then John Peters watched and was like, no, don't kill. That didn't make any sense at all. I feel like someone should have told
Me too.
Joe and Paul, no, with the rape.
Exactly.
No.
If it just would have stayed like this, I mean, it's already camp.
That's right.
It's so over the top. I don't know who would have directed her on purpose, like, without realizing what that was going to look like. Like, how could you not watch it back and think, wow, that's a little over the top?
I'm glad you mentioned that. I always think about that. Like, looking at the dailies, somebody had to look at that and go, yeah, we're good. We can move forward. We're good. Are you sure? She literally throws ketchup everywhere, and the other girl responds with nothing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
The other thing that also occurs to me is that Naomi is an a-hole through the entire movie.
She is, yes.
I feel like that's the other thing that kind of trips people up, is that we don't really have a protagonist.
No, there's nobody in the movie that you root for. It's like everybody's equally despicable.
Yeah.
They really are. Like, her character's despicable, like... Gina Gershon's character.
Her character is despicable.
Yeah, but but you know it. Like, it's up front. Naomi is supposed to be clouded in this. She's just trying to make it. She's had a hard life, but she's as mean and vindictive as everybody else.
Exactly that. Well, let's look at a little clip of Gina Gershon being a jerk in this.
You see, darling, you are a whore.
So I was always confused by that part because Gina Gershon seemed like she was into her, and it was all a con to call her a whore.
I thought her character in that movie, it's like a love-hate. Like, she loves her and she hates her at the same time.
Yes.
Because I've watched this movie a million times because I just love it so much. It's almost like she sees herself in her. You know, she admires the, you know, doing anything to get what you want.
Yeah.
But then she also hates her for it because she knows that she's going to do anything to get her role in as a dancer. So I feel like it's kind of like this mixed bag that she loves her one minute, hates her the next, and doesn't quite know how to... I don't know.
And for me, it's hard to read them as actual characters.
Yeah.
Because I can almost hear a guy writing it going, and now she calls her a whore. What? You know, I can almost hear that in my head.
Well, in the movie, when you think about the movie as a whole, it really was written from a man's point of view about how they think, you know, women are feeling and thinking. This movie would not do well today if it came out.
Well, it didn't do well then.
Didn't do well then, but I mean, it would really be But you know what? It might do better today if they marketed it as like a camp, sort of over-the-top, ridiculous comedy.
You know, I feel like if you had somebody like Lake Bell direct this, a female actually directing it, or maybe there's a few female directors, I'm blanking on names. But in any case, I feel like if you had a female director that directed this, it might be a different story, but you're right. Everything is written from a male's voice.
Right.
The camera is the male gaze, and it's just so transparent.
Yeah.
It's like Paul wanted to see boobies.
Well, if you look at it, that's what he wanted, like, throughout the whole 90s. After the Basic Instinct, it was... And I think what's unfortunate is that for, like, Elizabeth Berkley, and because she's really the one that took the brunt of this when it came out.
Yeah.
Everybody else kind of... They were unscathed. They were fine. They were able to keep going. She was billed as the star. It was supposed to be her breakout role. And it really ruined, at that moment, her career for a while. She couldn't get... She's done interviews where she's like, she couldn't get anyone to talk to her. Yeah. Like, everybody turned their backs on her. And it wasn't until years later that she's finally embraced the movie. A few years ago, she did a screening of it, like, for the in 2015, she did a screening and went to the screening and did, like, her little moves that she does in the movie.
Oh, that's fun.
Because she accepted it and said at the time when it came out, it was awful. Yeah. But in retrospect, looking back, you know...
And it's one of those things, too, I'm sure you know this, but they originally wanted Charlize Theron for this role.
I did read that,
so apparently Elizabeth Berkley was hesitant to sign for it, and so they went to their second, and that was Charlize Theron, and she was all the way up into like costuming and stuff like that, and Berkley came back, and they made the deal with Berkley, but we almost had Charlize Theron in this.
That could have ruined her career. There would have been no monster.
Paul Verhoeven said he was glad they passed on it, so it didn't ruin her career.
Yeah, because she's
phenomenal.
She is phenomenal.
Oscar award winning.
Yes. So.
But I also think that what would it have been if she had been in this chair? You know, because I feel like Elizabeth Berkley was shooting this when she was 19, going into 20.
Yeah.
Probably wasn't mature enough to handle this role.
And she's even said that. She said that when the movie came out, it was hard for her to even handle the backlash and being a young woman in the film at the time. I just think, at that age, she was more preoccupied with being a star.
Yes.
Which anybody in their 20s, they want to make it no matter what your career is. You're like, got to do anything I got to do to get where I want to go. Yeah. I think that was her mindset. And obviously, as somebody who's like now close to 50, she's like, you know, I was a 20-year-old woman just trying to have a career in Hollywood. And at the time, this is what really was the thing.
It was selling.
It was selling. And so why would you not want to be, you know, coming from Saved by the Bell, why would you not want to jump on that and try to make something? So it's just unfortunate that happened, but it's nice in retrospect she's able to look back and think that was a learning
experience.
Yes, yeah.
Well, this was fun, David.
It was fun. And if you haven't seen Showgirls, you should probably watch it. Just for fun.
Have some drinks.
Yeah.